Everyone laughed at my mother for wearing a cleaner's uniform at my graduation. But 30 seconds later, they mocked my mother for cleaning offices until they discovered she owned the building. My name is Ethan Miller. The day I graduated from college was supposed to be the happiest day of my life. My mother arrived wearing her old cleaning uniform because she had just finished her night shift. As she walked toward me, I heard someone whisper, "Look at her, she is only a cleaner." My girlfriend's parents looked embarrassed. My girlfriend quietly stepped away from me as if she did not know us. My mother smiled anyway and handed me a small gift. Inside was a simple watch with a note, "I am proud of you, son." Minutes later, the university director walked onto the stage and suddenly stopped. He smiled at my mother and said, "Welcome back, Mrs. Anderson. Thank you for everything you have done for this university." Everyone looked confused. Then he revealed the truth. 20 years earlier, my mother had bought the old building when nobody wanted it. She quietly rented it to the university for almost nothing because she believed education should be affordable. She still worked as a cleaner every night because she never wanted people to respect her only because of her money. The crowd became completely silent. The same people who laughed at her lowered their heads. My girlfriend's father rushed over to shake her hand. My mother smiled politely but said, "Respect should come before success, not after it." That day I learned the greatest lesson of my life. True greatness never needs expensive clothes or loud words. It only needs a kind heart and honest character. One shocking secret made the entire room go silent. What happened next changed our lives forever. After the graduation ceremony, everyone wanted to talk to my mother. The people who ignored her only minutes before suddenly smiled and called her an inspiration. Reporters surrounded her asking why she had hidden the truth for so many years. My mother calmly replied, "Kindness is worth more than fame." My girlfriend's father apologized in front of everyone. He admitted he had judged my mother because of her job. My mother accepted the apology but said, "Never decide someone's value by the clothes they wear or the work they do." A week later, I received a job offer from one of the biggest companies in the city. The CEO told me, "Your degree impressed us, but your mother's character inspired us even more." I looked at my mother with tears in my eyes. She smiled and said, "Success means nothing if you forget to stay humble." That moment changed my life forever. From that day, I promised myself that I would never judge anyone by their appearance because every person has a story the world cannot see. A few months later, I started my new job. Everything was going well until one morning, I saw an old janitor being laughed at by a group of employees. They called him useless and told him to stay out of their way. Everyone stayed silent. I remembered my mother and walked over to him. I helped him pick up his cleaning supplies and thanked him for keeping the office clean. The old man smiled but said very little. The next day, everyone in the company was called to the main conference room. The CEO walked in with the same janitor beside him. The room became completely silent. The CEO smiled and said, "This man is my father. After retiring, he asked to work here as a cleaner because he wanted people to respect hard work instead of a job title." Then the CEO looked at me and said, "Only one employee treated my father with kindness. That employee is Ethan Miller." In front of everyone, I was promoted to a leadership position. The employees who had laughed at the old man stood with their heads down. That day I realized life always tests our character before it rewards our success. My promotion changed my life, but it also brought new challenges. Some co-workers became jealous and started spreading false rumors about me. They said I only got promoted because of my mother's reputation. Instead of arguing, I stayed quiet and worked even harder. 3 months later, the company announced a major project. The CEO said the person who completed it successfully would become the youngest director in the company's history. Many experienced managers failed. I spent countless nights studying every detail and never gave up. On the final presentation day, everyone expected me to fail. When I finished speaking, the room was completely silent. Then the board members stood up and applauded. The project was approved without a single change. The CEO smiled proudly and said, "Today Ethan proved that success is earned, not given." The same people who once doubted me were now asking for my advice. I looked at my mother in the audience. She smiled with tears in her eyes. At that moment, I knew every sacrifice she had made was finally worth it. 1 year later, I became the youngest director in the company. Life was finally peaceful until I received a letter from my old girlfriend. She wrote that she was sorry for leaving me on my graduation day. She asked if we could meet one last time. I agreed because I wanted to move forward without any anger. When we met, she admitted that she had chosen money over love. She said it was the biggest mistake of her life. I smiled and thanked her for being honest. There was no anger, no revenge, and no hatred. Only kindness. As we walked away, my mother looked at me and smiled. She said, "Then I quietly said, the day you walked away, you lost someone who truly loved you. But I found something even more valuable. I found my confidence." Before leaving, I introduced her to my mother. My mother shook her hand and wished her a happy life. The greatest victory is not making others feel small. The greatest victory is becoming the person they never believed you could be. That was the day I understood that respect, honesty, and kindness are the richest treasures anyone can ever own. The end.